What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Polls and Podiums podcast. As always, I'm your host, Richard. Today, I'm going to be joined by It's Greg 72, photographer, media creator, and sports diehard. Somebody who I've known for a long time. We've definitely had various other sports ventures, so he's always got some great insight on sports in general. How you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
Appreciate you having me on, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I've been checking what you've been doing, man. I'm proud of you, man. Keep it going, man. Keep it going. Going.
I appreciate the support. Thank you. We're going to do a guest segment today. We're going to call it I Got Something to Say. A little idea provided by Greg when he reached out to me about wanting to get on the pod. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. We're going to touch a little bit on the Miami Grand Prix. As you know, we already did an episode, so we're going to go into a couple other details, get some other opinions, some other insight, talk about the F1 Academy race that happened this weekend a little bit as well. So let's jump right into it. So what did you think about the Miami Grand Prix?
I would say this. I think that I'm a fan of when racers get their first win. Now, I'm fairly new still to the sport. I'm the DTS kind of fan. They come into come to picture all that good stuff. But no,
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of drivers getting their first win because you just never know when it's gonna show up, how it's
I
gonna
don't.
happen, and I keep seeing so many comments about Lando got lucky that the safety car came out when he did. I'm just like that McLaren is balling the last. Because if you remember last year at Bahrain, I think Lando had to pit like 100 times because of something was going on, and they was like really terrible.
Oh,
What
yeah.
that
The
was terrible.
McLaren last year
It was,
was
bruh,
horrible on its tires. At the
bruh,
beginning of the year, it was potentially the worst car on the grid.
man,
And throughout the year, they had constant development. They
they've been,
constantly moved that car forward. They had great
man,
upgrade packages, and they've definitely continued that this year and on into this season. They
right.
showed some genuine pace. There are definitely haters out there talking about Lando got lucky. Lando didn't get lucky.
That
I'm
was
a
pure
Red Bull
face.
diehard, Red Bull enthusiast. It's my team. Max is my driver.
Yeah,
And even I have to admit, that was pace. That
that
McLaren.
that, that was about. But even then, I think for me, it's like even if he did get quote unquote lucky, right? Because lucky is a part of it. You got to be in the right place at the right time, but things that
Oh,
break your way,
absolutely.
right? But like you
That's
said,
racing.
but the thing is, yeah, okay, cool. Luck. You can say it's luck because the strategy worked out perfectly fine. They threw a Hail Mary and it worked, right? But when the restart happened, man was gone. He was gone. Like, he like about the fifth lap. You were like, oh wait, he got this. At this
Oh,
point, we was more worried about Oscar Piastri screwing up his teammates' race than Lando screwing up. Like,
oh yeah,
at least that's where I was at.
absolutely.
I don't know you was on that. That's where I was at.
Oh no, I completely agree. The reality is you can say that it was luck or situational had the safety car not happened, but that's racing, and
Yeah,
that's the way it
that's
goes. The
sports in
reality is,
general.
had Lando not stretched the life on that first set of tires, kept consistent pace, and kept
Correct.
those tires alive, he
Correct.
would have already pitted like half the grid had at that point.
Yep.
It was based on his driving, his performance, that he was
Hmm.
even in a situation to take advantage of that safety car. So
Yep.
you can't chop that up to, to luck. As far as pace, I agree. He was a little rough on the initial restart from the safety car, but after
Hmm.
that, man, I
What?
was checking it down on my little sheet when I was making notes, and he was like 3/10, 4/10 of a second faster than Max consistently, lap after lap after lap.
It just
And
kept growing and
that
growing and growing. Like, man,
that was
this
pure
might
pace,
happen.
man.
Like, this might
Yeah,
actually happen. Oh, snap.
it did. It
You know?
did, and he deserved it.
Well, 100%. Like,
Absolutely.
when we're playing back to the glory days, man, jeez, it's like, whew, boy. And like you said,
Yeah, and
Fairface didn't need two of the competitors coming out. You just, nah, I'm gonna beat you at your own
yeah,
game. And they did. Like, that's wild.
yeah.
I am glad that we have a third winner in 2024. Because,
Yeah,
it looked
the
hairy
field
for a
is
second.
definitely getting closer.
It
The
looked,
field is
it looked,
definitely getting closer.
but I am worried about 2026 though. little bit worried about that because as was the 2021 when the new race showed up, the ground effect, the way you call it. No, 2022 when it showed up. All of a sudden, Red Bull when it went berserk, and everybody else was like, "Oh, we got to catch up. It might take us a couple
Right.
years, right?" That's the only thing I'm worried about. But at least this year, I ain't gonna say Atlanta gonna be world champion all of a sudden. That's not gonna happen. At least I know it's not gonna happen. But
No, that's
we
not.
might he might get another one this year. He might get another
I,
one. He
I
might get
think
another
so.
one. I can see
I
him get
think
another
so.
one.
I think Silverstone is going to be one to watch. It's going to be his
Ooh,
home race. They
ooh,
have the pace. I think
ooh.
Silverstone's going to be the race to watch for
Well,
another
last
McLaren
year
win.
he was balling too. That first
He was
lap
close,
when you got that
and that
lead
car.
and everybody went crazy. Oh man, it's on. It's on. It's on. I can't wait.
It's going to be a good race.
Now I have
I
reason to
can't
get
wait.
up at 8 in the morning now. Now I have reason to get up in the morning. But
Or
before
3 a.m. or 2 a.m.
or like 7 a.m. in the morning, like now we got reason to get up in the morning now because I ain't gonna lie to you. If maybe I won, I'm gonna have to skip the next one. But that 8 in the morning race, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Not be up for that one now because that might be hours too.
See, personally, I'm the type that I'm up for every race. It doesn't matter what time
Mm-hmm.
it's on. I have multiple driver cameras up. I've got
Oh,
detailed screens. I watch on two TVs.
yeah,
I'm
bitch, your
in
house
on the
watching your
data,
phone all
man.
second.
Oh yeah,
Man,
F1 TV and multi-viewer for F1 TV.
yeah, I've been seeing my TV. That's it goes. Yeah.
That's the way to do it, man. And then I run it off the PC on two different TVs, and I've got data screens on one, and I've got my drivers and my main broadcast on the other. It's fantastic for catching all
Man,
the action. I
man,
definitely recommend it.
for sure. I got you on that. Man,
So other issues during the race, or other things during the race, or actually going back to McLaren. Let's stick there for a second. So Lando got the win,
yeah,
but Piastri was not slow. Piastri
no,
was
he
in a
wasn't.
good place to be right up there with him
Yeah,
until he got taken out of the race.
right.
You know, and he got wrecked and he got taken out. He got sent to the back of the field and he was fighting his way back up. So
Yeah,
people kind of forget that Piastri was up there fighting at the front too. He was fighting with signs.
yeah.
It's
Like that's gonna be a fun teammate battle in the next year or two. That's gonna be a fun battle, especially when McLaren get to the top. Oh,
yeah.
it's gonna be. I don't know. I don't even know the comparison. Again, my history is so minimal right now. Still, even 4 years in, right? It's like Lewis and Rosberg. It's not even a thing, right? Right? So
They
just contentious, right? So I can't. It's gonna be one of those firecracker ones. And now I think he get his win now. He gotta get his.
oh yeah.
He gotta get
See,
his.
that's the thing about Formula One is
Mm-hmm.
teammates are always best friends until they're fighting each other for that world championship.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Everybody's
100%.
everybody talks about Red Bull's domination right now, but before that, it was Mercedes, and before that, it
Yep.
was Red Bull again, and
Yep.
before that, we it's always been periods of dominance. And
Right.
2026 will be a new regulation set. It'll be a new series, essentially. The cars will be drastically different. They're going to be smaller. They're going to be 50-50 combustion and electric. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
be a completely new set of rules. From what I'm seeing, it looks like they're going to have active aero DRS style front wings as well as rear wings
Oh
to
yeah.
allow the
Yeah.
cars to close chase. I can't wait for the new
Saw
set of
they trying
regs.
to test the rain covers too.
I did see that. I think it looks horrible.
It looks
I'm not,
weird. It looks kind of weird. It
it
does look
looks
weird.
it looks horrible, and I know that every engineer is looking at those pictures mad because it can't be good for the aerodynamics of anybody's
Not at
car. It'll
all.
completely affect the cars. I think they need to look at another option. Pirelli, just do your fucking job. Make a better set of rain tires that
That
disperse
part.
the water in a different
That
direction.
that part.
That's what you get paid to do. Like, let's not go into creating add-ons that we need to add to the cars
Add
to
more weight to
suffice
the
for the
car.
rain.
Slow down the range even
No,
more.
you're diminishing what these teams are spending millions and millions of dollars creating
100%.
with their
100%.
aerodynamic packages by
100%.
making them throw this dumb shit on their car for rain. Just build a better tire.
Yeah.
Do your job, Pirelli.
Yeah,
That's my
you got the
opinion.
resources to do it.
You do. That's what you get paid for.
At this
That's what you're
point, you
here
might as
for.
well use the unused tire. Anybody using it only pitting once a different race, anyways. Might as well
You
just
I mean, the reality is the full wet tire
yeah,
sucks
yeah.
so bad right now. That's not a
It's,
result of the cars. That's a result of Pirelli bringing a shit tire to the
yeah,
fucking equation. Like the
exactly.
wet tire is horrible. When it's wet enough for a full wet tire, the wet tire is so bad they just red flag the race. That's not the
Right.
way it's supposed to work. We're supposed to race with full wets. Bring a better tire. Use those resources.
Exactly.
Make a better wet tire,
Right.
something that disperses the water to the side. I'm not a tire engineer. I don't know how to do it, but there's got to be a way to send it to the sides instead of straight up in the air in the face of the drivers behind. Use
Yeah.
your resources and come up with something intuitive.
Yeah. Back to
Formula
the drawing
One is
board.
about innovation and pushing the package on things. And
Yeah,
that should go for you too as a tire developer.
you
Push the
got a bunch
package
of
on
smart people
tire.
in the room. Do something. You got a bunch of smart people in the room. Let's go ahead and do it. Make it work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we did kind of tease Formula One Academy as well. So did you catch the F1 Academy races this weekend?
The highlights, and I saw that Haas finally got a podium sitter.
Yes.
They finally got a podium sitter.
Chloe Chambers. She's a beast, man. I don't know if you watch the highlights, you may have seen the double overtake.
Oh,
But
she
watching her
yeah
race, oh, she had a nasty double overtake. It's something that we go into in a little bit more detail in the other episode, but
yeah
oh, she worked for that and she earned it. And
100%.
like I said, like right now, that's my American driver
Yeah.
because Logan Sargent,
Whew.
he's out. He's out.
Yeah.
Williams is submitting applications to have an underage driver in the seat.
Yeah.
Antonelli will
Mhm.
be old enough to drive the car in August. So if you have no intention of putting Antonelli in that car before the summer break, then
Yeah.
why are you submitting an application to the FIA or inquiring to the FIA about it?
Correct.
Logan's done. Career
Yeah.
over, man. Nice run. You
Sad.
tried. You failed. Sorry.
Yeah, it sucks though. It do suck because you want to be decent, right? But a lot of it was on him. Now, I think that
Well,
Sunday wasn't on him personally, but before that though, a lot of it was
yeah.
on him.
Sunday wasn't on him. Sunday, he was taken out of the race. But the reality is, if you had been performing or showing flashes of greatness or
Yeah.
potential in that car, being taken out on Sunday wouldn't be your lifeline. You know,
Correct.
we wouldn't even be having this conversation. If you were doing what Alex is doing with that car, the
Mhm.
conversation wouldn't even be a question on whether or not
Right, and
you
that
are
gets
being
and
replaced.
especially when and then your team would have to sit you home for the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Like that what got me. That would told me that oh yeah, he's out of there because ain't no way you gonna drive my car because you crashed your car. Yeah,
And exactly. You know,
like
everybody was so upset. They took the car, they took the parts off of it that they needed, put them on Albon's car and let Albon drive. Logan
yeah.
sat out. But again, the same thing.
If he
If
was
you
driving
were
better,
doing what you were supposed to, that wouldn't
yeah,
have been a situation.
correct.
There wouldn't have been a question of, is this worth taking your parts and giving them to Albon so that we can potentially score points? If you had the potential to score those same points that he did, that
Yeah,
wouldn't even have been a situation.
correct. But yeah, yeah, that is the American driver, Chloe Chambers. We're behind you now. We're behind you
We
because
are.
man, that
You know,
team. Hey, let's do it. Let's
yeah,
do it.
you know, and I really want Leah Block to do well. You
Yeah,
know, I'm a huge Ken Block fan. Loved Ken Block. You know, he was hugely inspirational in my love of cars and motorsports and rally and moving kind of into FIA stuff.
yeah,
You know, loved Ken Block. So to see his daughter doing open wheel racing in F1 Academy, that's fantastic. But
yeah.
she's not doing fantastic. It's still early in her career. You know, she's only had a couple races, I think 2 races under her belt and
Mm-hmm.
testing in Zandvoort. So she's still new. She's still rough and rusty. She hasn't had multiple seasons like Logan, but I really want to see her turn it around and show some
Mm-hmm.
potential and not be another Logan Sargent, you know,
Right,
because
right.
for her to carry her dad's lineage on into Formula One or into open wheel racing and other areas of motorsport, if she does well in, you know, F1 Academy, if she can take that car and show that she can do something real with it, you know, a lot of people don't realize how into motorsports some of these girls that drive for F1 Academy are. A good example, if you have watched the races, Dorian Pin or Han, you know, she killed it the first race
Right,
or the first race weekend,
right,
killed both races.
right.
She was right up there on the podium fighting for wins this weekend as well. Most people don't know that she is an FIA WEC driver. She drives for the Iron Dames team in WEC racing. She's going to be
Right.
driving at Le Mans. So she has lots of motorsports experience and has opened doorways to all kinds of other bigger motorsports pathways. So if Leah can take advantage of that, I would love to see it. But right now she's looking really rough.
That's a yeah. But what I was thinking about, we talking about McLaren, Bianca. She
Bianca
was
Bustamante.
she podium setter too. McLaren had a
She's
good weekend. They had a great weekend.
she's great. She's one of my favorites from F1 Academy, honestly.
Same, same.
Filipino driver,
Yeah,
and she was in the W series before F1 Academy,
correct,
so
correct.
familiar with her from the W series.
Correct.
Also, she was
Yeah,
great in the
same here.
W series.
Same here. Same
Um,
here.
she had a fantastic weekend as well. You know, she had the rough start in the first race where she stalled out, ended up
Yeah.
at the back of the grid, fought her way all the way back up to seventh.
Yep.
You know, she did get a 5-second penalty with the chicane. She's a hard pusher. She's still
Hmm.
young also, but that's kind of one of her downfalls that I see on her, or one of her flaws that she really needs to work on is she has a tendency to cut a chicane, man.
Yeah.
Not just here, but she did it last weekend that they
Hmm.
raced as well.
Hmm.
You know, she's just got to slow down, pace herself, breathe a little bit.
Weighing in a little bit.
Yeah, rein it in a little bit because she's got talent, man. She's skilled,
100%.
but she kind of shoots herself in the foot a lot because
Yeah.
I feel like she's got kind of that George Russell tendency where they're just go 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 almost to their disadvantage, and they
Hmm. Like, we
just gotta
know you
dial it
love
back.
racing. Let's
Yes,
pace yourself.
yeah,
It's not going nowhere. You're
yeah,
good.
and she'll get there. She'll get there
Yeah.
eventually. Max was like that when he was young in his career. Like
Hmm.
that's a lot of the reason that Max and Lewis Hamilton used to come together so much. Is Max was like, I have to hit
Super
this.
aggressive.
Yeah, super aggressive. I
I
need
would
to
say
make
this
this
too.
now.
I would say this too. It's crazy. You know, people say a lot. You can say whatever you say about Max. You know, I have my opinions, but I would say this though: to basically go like a full season and almost like full season and have with no mistakes, like
Oh, he's grown.
that whole Bolog thing at Miami was the
Yeah,
only mistake he made in the last year. Dog,
yeah.
that's
He's
insane. And then when he did not finish the race, through no fault of his own though, because it was a car
yeah,
messed up. Like
exactly.
you gotta give him credit for that one. Like he's
Oh
not
yeah,
as
he's
stubborn and aggressive no
generational.
more. Yeah, he
He's
knows
generational.
when to go. You know when not to when to chill out now. He ain't trying
Yep.
to fight nobody at the start no more. Like it's yeah. It has been. I have noticed that, right? I have noticed that personally.
Yeah,
So
he's grown. He's developed as a driver. A lot of people forget, or a lot of people who are newer to the sport don't realize that when Max was starting, and a lot of what you see in Drive to Survive, he was 17 years old. He wasn't even old
correct,
enough to drive a car legally on the street
correct,
outside of Formula One, and he
right.
was winning Formula One races. So he's grown significantly from that point. You know, he's been here like 6, 7 years now.
Hmm.
He's grown, he's matured, he's learned how to win. He's learned that, you know, it's not
I will
about
say this.
every
I
race.
think what
It's
stands out to
the
me
season.
is Hungary 2020 when I think he had the hiccup before the race, and then I don't know if he got to the podium. He got close to it,
Yeah.
and I was like, all right,
Oh,
he got
he's
something.
always been competitive.
He got something. He got something
Yeah,
there. I see
he's
why they
always
got
been
him.
competitive. The reality is back when Mercedes had their dominant era, you know, they were as dominant, if not more than Red Bull is right now.
Right.
the difference was that when Lewis Hamilton made a mistake or when Bottas made a mistake, Max was there to capitalize, and he took
Correct.
advantage of it, and he scored them points. He took those wins. Like
Correct.
he was there in subpar machinery. The problem with everybody now is Max has the best car on the grid, and he has that capability that he had to take a car that shouldn't be there and win those races. So
Right.
now he's just unstoppable. You know, I don't think that the Red Bull is as dominant as everybody tries to make it seem. It's the fact that Max is driving it. The Red Bull is where Checo is. You know,
Yeah.
Checo
Yeah.
is where the Red Bull should be. You know, middle of the top. You know, fighting for wins. If Max wasn't there, it's Max that makes that car the magic that we've seen for the last several years.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a whole lot of people question like, is it the driver or is it the car? Well, it's kind of the driver a little bit because we see what Chuck been doing with that same kind of car. He's we be doing. It's
It's
it's nice.
it's both. It's going back to Lando.
Yeah.
You know, the reality is you can have a driver that has tremendous talent and tremendous capability
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, has the ability to take that race victory if they have the right car.
Right, because
You know,
he had it in
know,
2021. That first race,
yeah,
his first race could have been won in 2021 if it wasn't for him overriding his engineers. Like,
you know,
but then again, like you said, you
mistakes.
grow, you learn, you grow, and
Yeah,
he been doing it since then. But still, you definitely it's definitely it's a nice balance.
it is. And, you know, it's even as a Red Bull fan, I've loved the dominance. I'd love to see my team on top. I love to see my team winning, but I'm also excited to see the pack close up. I'm excited to see Max fight for wins. You know,
Correct.
if you watch my episodes, I'm really hard on Checo. I'm really hard on
Everybody
Checo
should
Perez.
be. Everybody should
And
be.
it's not that Checo's a bad driver. You know, he's a good driver. He's one of the only drivers that I've ever seen, as long as I've watched Formula One, to go from last to a win.
Correct.
You know, he has talent, he has ability, but he's not on Max's level. And the reality is nobody else is fighting Max right now. Max is so far ahead of everybody else, he's not being challenged. And he's my favorite driver. I want him to be challenged. I want him to be pushed to be better and better and better, because if nobody's fighting you and nobody's pushing you to make yourself better or to do better other than just your own desire, you don't get that maximum effect that he would get. He won't be as great as he could be if he doesn't have somebody there to challenge him. So
Right.
I want somebody in the car that's going to push him, that he's going to have to fight, not somebody that's going to fight the rest of the pack 20 seconds behind him. And that's
Right.
my beef with Checo. You know, it's not that he's a bad driver, he's just not Max's caliber. And Red Bull needs to put another driver in the seat that's, if not Max's caliber, close to it, that can make Max sweat, that can give him something to look at in the rearview mirror and worry about a corner or two and challenge him, you know.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, like, to be in the same car and to be down by 100 plus points, that's wild. I'm sorry. That's wild. Yeah, he can run away with the championship all he wants to, but to be 100 points down in the same car, bro, where's the disconnect?
Yeah.
Where's the disconnect?
There's a definite gap.
Something's wrong here. And it got so bad because after Monaco, when he crashed out in that qualifying, I was like, you know what? Let's go be a family man now. Hey, go home with your family, have a nice retirement or something, because, bro, what are you doing right now?
Well, you know, there was speculation that was intentional. So the rumor mill was that was intentional because he was in first place. So by crashing out there and causing the red flag, he secured pole position, because that's what Monaco's about. Usually whoever takes pole in Monaco wins the race. It's so small, it's so tight, you can't overtake. Right. So there was a lot of speculation, and that was a lot of supposedly what the beef was with Max at the end of the year, where he was saying that he wasn't going to help Checo win in Mexico. He's never going to give him the lead because of that situation in Monaco, supposedly, where Checo wrecked it intentionally to give himself the pole and cheat Max out of the fastest lap. So that burned Max supposedly, and that's where a lot of the bad blood started. So it's interesting to see, Checo's street circuits and close walls have never been something that he struggled at. So
Right.
I kind of agree with that, or I'm inclined to believe it.
I can see it. Yeah.
Strategies with strategies, man. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Formula One is cutthroat. Drivers
Oh,
have to do what they have
100%.
to do.
100%.
You know,
100%.
that's one of the things that I'm so excited about this season is Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. Right now, it's early in the season and it's already chippy. They're already spicy with each
Oh,
other.
he got Carlos got to get mean because
He,
he just got kicked out
he
the
walked,
club.
yeah,
He got
yeah.
to get
He
mean.
just got cut.
He
So
got to get mean.
he
Team
has a
Waters
burning
back.
desire, I'm sure, to beat Charles Leclerc and prove
Mm-hmm.
a point to every other team out there to boost that paycheck that he's going to get and end up at the best team possible.
Yeah.
So I know as the season progresses, just like with every other team, when it starts to get hot and it starts to get to the point where it's about your career, not just about this win for the team,
Yeah.
cars start coming together.
Oh,
People start ignoring team orders to, let off or
team
let
orders.
him
What is that?
pass,
What is team orders?
yeah. Yeah, that completely changes. That compliance, that friendly cohesion and cooperation, that goes out the fucking window when it's about
He's
my
gonna get
paycheck and my
he's gonna
future.
start getting boxed out of team meetings and everything else.
Oh, I'm
No,
sure he
no,
already
Carlos,
is.
we don't need to be meeting. Go. We see at the
Yeah,
track.
I'm
We
sure
need to
he
be
already
meeting.
is.
Yeah.
I guarantee you it's
Well, yeah,
already
because
happened.
when you announce before the season start that you replace him with Lewis, yeah, it's already
You've set the
started.
precedent. You've set the precedent. I'm
It's a,
sure when we see Drive to Survive, that's going to be one of the main things that we see
oh, I
is
can't
that
wait.
Carlos is kind of blackballed and cut out of shit from day one of this season. And I'm sure that's contributing a lot to what we're hearing over the radio because he's not the normal Carlos. Carlos is cool, smooth operator, man.
Calm, collected, everything.
That's calm, collected, smooth head, strategist on the
Man,
fucking
he
grid.
getting snappy
That's
now.
Carlos.
Woof.
And that's not who we're seeing this
Man,
season
getting
because
snappy now.
it's not about that anymore. It's about my life, my
Career, yeah.
livelihood,
Well,
my career and
this year.
future in this sport. Exactly.
Where do you think he goes though? That's the real question.
That's the question.
That's the million question. I feel like that's the biggest domino of the fall.
The biggest domino to fall for sure. I think he ends up at Red Bull. I think if Red Bull smooths out, even with the departure of Adrian Newey, like Adrian Newey's leaving. Some of the interviews that happened this weekend, Brundle kind of, I think it was Brundle that questioned him and kind of didn't give him a way out. Asked him how he'd look in red. And the smile, the little childish smile that Adrian Newey gave, kind of told us everything that we need to know. He's probably going to Ferrari. That's what it is.
Boy,
it's going to be it's going to be exciting to see
him and Lewis together. Oh no! Oh boy,
it's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
but yeah, he can't go to Ferrari. He's leaving Ferrari, so that's not an option. Going where Newey goes isn't an option if Newey goes to Ferrari.
Right.
So you take the second best option on the grid. The reality is, even if Newey leaves, who's better? Who's a better option? Mercedes, who's literally fucking falling apart at the seams. It's funny because this weekend there were little snubs being shot at Red Bull amongst all this Adrian Newey scandal, I guess you would call it, or controversy that he's leaving about, a number of teams saying that they're having Red Bull people show up at their doormat, Toto Wolff kind of shot a slug. We've had multiple Red Bull people show up at our door inquiring about positions and things like that. And Christian Horner's response was, we took 302 of your people to develop Red Bull powertrains. That's far more than a few people showing up at your doorstep.
Yeah.
So I don't think that Red Bull is in a bad place. I think that they have a great team behind them. And the reality is right now, who's better? So you make the smart play. You go for the team that's doing the best right now. And the reality is Checo's contract is up right now. We're going to need another driver this year. I don't see him re-signing us. And Carlos Sainz would look sexy in a Red Bull outfit again. Like, I'm such a big advocate of Sainz and Max in that Red Bull. They drove together when they were at Toro Rosso. They
Yep.
make a fantastic team. They're they're both hungry. They're both driven. Carlos Sainz already has the Red Bull family in his family. His father has driven for Red Bull in the Dakar Rally for fucking years.
Yeah.
So, it's funny when you watch Drive to Survive episodes, they're sitting at dinner and Carlos is wearing Ferrari, his dad's wearing Red Bull.
Yeah.
It bring him back to the fold. The only thing is he kind of forced his way out of Red Bull when he left initially. So there could be some bad blood there, but I think the reality is we brought Danny Rick back. I don't see why we wouldn't do it with Carlos as well, because Danny forced his way out too. He kind of stabbed us in the back and left for Renault. So if we had no problem bringing Danny back, I don't see why we wouldn't bring Carlos back, because he's a fantastic talent.
Yeah. Oh man, Mercedes dog. I gotta say, man, it's one of those things where you just might as well admit to it that just the problem, right? Because for the last couple of years, it's been like this. Yeah, we'll learn from this. Yeah, we'll grow from this. It's like, dog, 2021, you got exposed. Like high key, like you got exposed 2021, and then 2022, it all just went to crap, right? Literally with the crap in real time, and then when your 7-time world champion is like, yo, we gotta do this. Y'all like, we know more than you. What you talking about? Okay, man. So you know more than me then. So you know more than me then. That's why everybody's leaving.
They
Right.
are. Everybody's leaving.
That's why literally everybody's leaving. So you know more than me. You haven't. Yeah. For that, yeah. You try to catch up, and yet it's still McLaren is beating you now. You send your engine to McLaren, they're doing a better job with your engine than you doing your engine.
Getting beat by customer teams.
Like,
McLaren is a front runner team right now, and Mercedes is a midfield team. Like, that's the reality. They're in the same situation right now that Renault was at the end of kind of its run with Red Bull, where the customer team was doing better than the manufacturer, and that's a hard place to be. I'm not a fan of Toto Wolff, so I'm pretty controversial on Toto. I think that Toto's a fraud. I don't think he deserves to be the team principal. He's been a long-standing team principal, but I think everybody forgets that Toto kind of took on the foundation that Russ Braun built, who is one of the greatest minds in Formula One.
right.
He was masterful. He was, among Adrian Newey as some of the greatest. He built the foundation that championship winning car and philosophy that Toto won with through the Lewis campaign, that was based on the foundation that Russ Braun built, on top of the fact that you had Niki Lauda there. Niki Lauda is also one of the greatest minds in Formula One and greatest drivers. Having that influence there to craft Mercedes and build Mercedes into the champion that they are was massive. Now that all of those influences are gone, the foundation that Russ Braun built is gone, because you have a brand new set of regulations that you can't rely on any of that old technology, because everything changed. Niki Lauda passed. He's no longer there to give you that insight. And what do we see from Toto? A car that's fucking lost. A philosophy that is completely gone in the wind. Don't know what they're doing. Like,
not at all.
Massive changes to a car. Bring a B-spec car that's worse almost than the original car was. That was horrible.
Yeah.
They're
to the point where Lewis had to make his own setup change, and he made that worse, because now we just trying stuff.
Yeah. And I think that Lewis has realized that as well, that Toto can't lead this team into the future, but Toto is vested there. He's ingrained. He's not going anywhere. So there's no way that
Lewis owner of the team as well.
Yeah. He's a huge investor. He's a shareholder. He's massively invested. There is no stance for Lewis to have been like, it's me or Toto. Bring somebody in to do some development.
Right.
It's not an option. So he had to go to Ferrari. I think that as we watch, Toto won't be there much longer. I think he'll be there through the end of this regulation, and he won't do well. And I think 2026 will bring another car that will not be any better than this set of regulations, and he'll be done.
Yeah.
That's my bold prediction for the 2026 season. Is that
would not be surprised
as Audi comes in as a brand new manufacturer, they will do better than Mercedes, who is a team that was dominant and is a world championship.
Damn, that's nuts. It's like ever since 2021, they've been exposed. Yeah, we've been exposed. That's
They have.
wild. It's just wild to see. It's unfortunate for for Mercedes people, but
Oh, absolutely.
but
that's
at this
Formula
point,
One.
I'm just kind of in the race because for me, I'm a Lewis guy. Like when Lewis go, I'm riding with him. So I was just counting down them races. I'm just counting them down. How many more races left to red? All right then.
18, I believe. I think we got 18 races.
Right. Like how many more races left? All right, let's just count down these months here. All right, cool. December, all right, I'll be ready. I can't wait. That's where I'm at right now because Jesus Christ, man. It's the fact that Lewis been able to bring that car to some points is a miracle in itself.
So
even George.
George won a race,
but he used to it though, right? He used to driving cars though. So
very true. Lewis is used to driving the best car on the grid.
Right,
Russell is used to fighting a shit car. The very valid point as to why he's probably looking better than Lewis is right now is Lewis isn't used to this.
Yeah, it's been too long. Again, this is Lewis we're talking about. He should be at the top. Even if he doesn't win the whole thing, he should be at the top.
He should be fighting up there. He should.
The fact that Mercedes is like, we good, dog. We good. We don't need you no more.
Yeah, the house is burning around them, and Mercedes is sitting there eating dinner like, oh, don't worry about it. It's fine.
There's nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here.
Just enjoy the food.
It's all good, my guy. It's all good. Lewis, look at this. Look at this car, man. Look at this car. Even though the car is breaking down on the back end. Look at this front
Look at this livery. Isn't it beautiful? Lewis, don't ignore that. No.
What's going on in the factory? Don't worry about the factory. We good. Right? Don't worry. Okay. And McLaren for us, don't worry, man. If they got lucky, we got some next race.
They got lucky. Yeah.
I'm calm down. I'm just calm down.
Yep.
I've been learning Italian every day as we speak. Full blown Italian by the time we get to January. I can't wait. It's on the popping. Jesus.
It's going to be great. I'm excited to see it. I can't lie. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. Next year will be a season, that we'll probably see us without Adrian Newey, and then 2026 we'll probably see him coming in on that new car. So I don't expect Ferrari to be the most dominant force on the track, even if Newey goes to Ferrari at the beginning of 26, because that'll be kind of coming into the team, and we probably won't see those massive
changes until next season.
Changes due to budget cap and things that we have today. Probably until 27, maybe 28, we'll start seeing the massive upgrades, but it's going to be something to see. It'll be a hell of a progression once he joins to watch how that car changes from wherever they are.
For once, right? For once.
Yeah.
For once.
For once in the current run of dominance that's been happening in Formula One.
Oh man, I can't wait. I mean, damn. I want my first to be a family man to Danny Rick. He might need to be a family man too at some point because you got lost the wing on the wings behind him, like looking over your shoulder. Yeah, you might need to let that bit go. Danny Rick, I like him. I really like him. I think everybody likes him, but it might be time to go. I think it's that time.
Who's that?
Danny Rick.
Danny Rick. Oh, Danny.
It's almost that time because you got Liam Lawson just waiting, dog. He's just waiting.
He is, and I would say that Danny Rick I was worried about him. I thought that he was probably going to be done at the end of this season,
Mm.
especially when he was like, I need a new chassis. But
Mm-hmm.
since he's got the new chassis, he's looked like a different Danny Rick. And he's
Yeah.
had some unfortunate circumstances that have caused him some problems, like
Yeah.
P4 in the sprint, quali.
That's good.
P4
You
in
know,
the sprint,
not bad at
on
all.
pace,
Not bad at
fighting
all.
against fighting against a car that won against a Red Bull on pace this week. You know,
Yeah.
you looking back, like Danny performed.
Yeah.
The race, the Grand Prix wasn't the greatest,
Right.
but things changed.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of disparity from the sprint to the race and changes and things that were very different from what we saw in the sprint, which kind of goes to show that, the criticism that we've always had that the sprint is just kind of a mirror copy of what we're going to see in the Grand Prix isn't always true, because this
Yeah.
was a very different looking sprint race
Right.
on performance and pace across the grid than it was during the
Right.
actual Grand
But I
Prix,
think
which is very
I
interesting.
think they change the rules too. That you can make yourself after the sprint as well before qualifying.
Yeah. And some of the changes that teams made or thought that they needed to change ended up being a negative thing. And that's
Right.
what I wanted.
True.
That was
True.
what I was excited for on the sprint weekends. That's what I craved, was let them use it like a practice session. Let
Yeah.
them make changes to the car, because some teams will get it right and nail it, and some teams won't.
Right.
Some teams will fuck it up. Alpine scored points this weekend. They took that data that they had in the sprint
True.
when they didn't look great,
That they've
and
been struggling too.
they scored a point. Ocon scored some points for Alpine. They're
They've been
now the
struggling.
only, the rest of the teams back there have done nothing. The only teams that had scored points were the top teams, V-Carb and Haas.
Yeah.
And now Alpine has added themselves to that fold. So, the sprint brings some action, and
Yep.
I'm looking forward to the rest of them.
Me too. I'm looking for the rest of the season. It's gonna be nice. I can't wait. So I guess we can almost finish. So what race are you looking forward to the most that's left?
This season?
Yeah.
Coda's always my favorite, man.
Coda's always
Because I
good.
tend to go to Coda.
True.
Coda.
True.
I'm in Colorado now. I'm not in Texas anymore, but I still travel to Coda. I'm going to Coda for the Lone Star Le Mans in August, September. I love going to Coda.
Okay.
Oh, it's fantastic,
I
man.
didn't know that was going on. I might need to check that out myself.
WEC. Okay. This is going to be the first year that it's back. Lone Star Le Mans. It's going to be Labor Day weekend, so September 31st, August 1st, August 2nd.
Yeah.
I'll be there. I got pit passes. I'm going to be meeting up with the drivers. It's going to be a weekend. It's going to be a weekend. The tickets aren't bad right now because it's not really big. So I don't know if you ever went to the COTA races. Probably not if you're a DTS fan or coming on from DTS.
Yeah, I haven't been to COTA yet. I didn't go to COTA. I didn't get
when
there.
COTA was initially a Grand Prix, they were fucking giving away tickets, man. The tickets were dirt cheap for the whole weekend. Now ticket packages are like $500, $600, $700. The ticket prices are massive. Yeah. We got tickets for the Lone Star Le Mans this year for like $130 for the whole weekend. And then we were able to add a pit pass on pre-sale because we're WEC fans too. We watch it. So when they announced it, we were immediately on the site buying tickets. So we got pit passes at the time for like $40. The ticket prices have gone way up. And when we got them, it was only giving us access for one day, like Friday night, I think, after the race.
Yeah.
And since then, and the popularity has changed and things have changed, they've upgraded our pre-sale passes to all weekend pit passes now. So we're going to have access to the drivers and stuff like that for the whole weekend. It's definitely worth it if, you could make a trip to Austin. It's going to be a hell of a weekend.
I'm trying to make it out there. I'm trying to make it out there.
Lone Star Le Mans.
I'm trying to make it out there for sure, because that looks like it's going to be a good time.
It's going to be a great time, man.
A good time, for
all
sure.
Right.
But no, it was fun talking about this. It's been fun. I'm glad that we got a new race winner, the first one.
Yep.
And I wonder who's been the next one to get that first win. Now that's gonna be
I don't know.
One. That's gonna be the question.
I selfishly hope it's not until 2026.
Understood. Understood that. Understood. I wonder who's gonna be
so
the first. That's good. I want to be the first one. I put him under Oscar. I think he's gonna get one.
Oscar will get one.
Oscar will get one eventually. I think he'll be the next one to get his first one.
I think it'd be nice to see Oscar get his first win. He's definitely got the potential. He's been fighting hard.
Yeah,
He's been up there. He's got a sprint win already. He
true.
just doesn't have a real Grand Prix win. So I could definitely see Piastri being the next person
Yeah, I think he'd be the
to
first
get his
next
first
week.
Grand Prix win,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
especially with McLaren's current pace.
Right. That's why I'm like, he has to be clear favorite at this point. He has to be
Yep.
clear favorite. I think if anybody else gets that first win, something happened.
Yeah.
Something went wrong.
Something real crazy happened in
Something
this race.
crazy went wrong. But no, it was fun, man. I appreciate my time. I appreciate the time, man. Anytime you just want to ask, call me, come back on. I'll let me know. We make it work.
Absolutely. We'll definitely have you back. Also want to thank everybody for joining in today. Love to see it. If anybody has any additional commentary, any comments, your own opinions on anything that we've talked about, make sure you put it in the comments section below. Like and subscribe. Make sure you stay out looking for the next video, because we're always going to stay on top of whatever's hot in motorsports, whether it's Formula One Academy, WEC, or F1. Thanks for tuning into the Poles and Podiums podcast. Everybody have a great day.